Welcome to another week of A Friendly Nudge. So this week we're making hoe cakes. So think of these as sort of a cross between cornbread and pancakes. It's kind of a southern pancake. And the dry ingredients are 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of cornmeal, a tablespoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And then we've got 3 eggs, 2/3 of a cup of water, 1/4 of a cup of melted butter, and that's a cup of milk with a tablespoon of vinegar added to kind of approximate buttermilk. So we're going to get all this stuff mixed together, and I think that you're going to fall in love with these. I mean, they are absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to get the eggs beaten up. And, then I'm going to add those to a larger bowl because I'm going to put all of the wet ingredients together and get them blended. That's the milk. And once again, that was a cup of milk with a tablespoon of vinegar. That is 1/4 cup of melted butter, 2/3 of a cup of water. And I'm just going to get this kind of mixed up together, and then we're going to add it to the dry ingredients. And the dry ingredients, I hadn't mixed those up, so I'm just going to do kind of a rough mix of those and, kind of get any, stuff broken up that was clumped. And then I'm just going to pour all of that in. And one of the things I figured out with making pancakes over the years is you don't have to worry about getting it perfect. The main thing that I want to do is make sure that I get everything kind of mixed up. I don't want to have it to where like all of the salt is in one part of it. And then I also want to make sure that I don't have a bunch of dry ingredients kind of stuck on the bottom that didn't get incorporated into the wet ingredients. So just trying to get everything kind of mixed up. I'm not worried about, okay, are there any clumps in it? Because that's just going to be kind of part of the territory. And then, what I'm looking for from a consistency is, pretty much right there. So I'm using avocado oil, and, I've tried this different ways. Do I put it on there and spread it completely out before I put any on it? I've kind of taken the lazy approach here. It's like, yeah, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but I'm just going to end up putting the pancakes down, and then I'll spread the oil out kind of around them. This is a fairly well seasoned cast iron griddle, so it does a pretty good job of not sticking. I don't know that I'd be trying to fry eggs on it, but yeah, it does the job. So I think this is I think that's a 2/3 of a cup measure I'm using. Basically, just figure out the size pancakes that you want. Because if I think this thing was looking at that the kind of normal serving size on it, these things are about 300 calories a pancake. So I try to limit myself to one. Some days the temptation kind of overwhelms me, and I have a couple of them. And when I wait to flip them is to kind of look for sort of that radiused edge on the pancake where that you can kind of tell that it's beginning to get set. And then, flip it over. And, sometimes I stick them together, but, today it looks like they're going to cooperate with me. And, then it's just a matter of kind of keeping an eye on them. This is not quite all the color that I want on there, so I'll leave them for a few more seconds. And then, yeah, that's getting a little bit more. And then I take these and put them in a 250 degree oven. So that way, if there's any last, second of cooking that needs to happen, in the middle of these, that'll happen while they're kind of hanging out while the other ones are getting done. And also what happens is that the griddle gets a little bit hotter. So I think the next batch actually cooks just a little bit quicker. But yeah, these things have become, a favorite. I've now made them about 3 times, and yeah, they will definitely be a regular part of the rotation. I usually don't do like pancakes or anything like that until the weekend. So yeah, I'm putting them into the 250 oven, and then, these will hang out while everything else gets finished. And, I'm going to pull out, okay, so that's all of them that were done. And yeah, I think it made a nice batch. And, these are, it's like I use just a little bit of apple butter. We had some homemade apple butter that some friends had given us. So I'm using that, and I'm going to put just a little bit of maple syrup on it. And yeah, these things are absolutely incredible. Here's a warning: they are a little bit addictive, but I think that you'll forgive me for it because they're wonderful. Play with your food and have a great week.